but through Jesus Christ and God the Father, who raised him from the dead, and all the brethren who are with me. To the churches of Galatia, grace to you and peace from God the Father and our Lord Jesus Christ, who gave himself for our sins, that he might deliver us from this present evil age, according to the will of our God and Father, to whom be glory forever and ever. Amen. I marvel that you are turning away so soon from him who called you in the grace of Christ to a different gospel, which is not another, but there are some who trouble you and want to prevent the gospel of Christ. But even if we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel to you than what we have preached to you, let him be accursed. As we have said before, so now I say again, if anyone preaches any other gospel to you than what you have received, let him be accursed. For do I now persuade men or God, or do I seek to please men? For if I still pleased men, I would not be a servant of Christ. But I made known to you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached by me is not according to man. For I neither received it from man, nor was I taught it, but it came through the revelation of Jesus Christ. For you have heard of my former conduct in Judaism, how I persecuted the church of God beyond measure and tried to destroy it. And I advanced in Judaism beyond many of my contemporaries in my own nation, being more exceedingly zealous for the traditions of my fathers. But when it pleased God, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me through his grace, to reveal his Son in me, that I might preach him among the Gentiles. I did not immediately confer with flesh and blood, nor did I go up to Jerusalem to those who were apostles before me. But I went to Arabia and returned again to Damascus. Then after 3 years I went up to Jerusalem to see Peter, and remained with him 15 days. But I saw none of other apostles except James, the Lord's brother. Now concerning the things which I write to you, indeed, before God I do not lie. Afterward I went into the regions of Syria and Cilicia, and I was unknown by face to the churches of Judea which were in Christ, but they were hearing only. He who formerly persecuted us now preaches the faith which he once tried to destroy, and they glorified God in me. The grace of God the Father be with us all. Amen.
The Catholic epistle from the epistle of our teacher, St. John, may holy blessing be with us. Amen. Now, if not the seventh from Adam prophesies about these men also, saying, Behold, the Lord comes with 10,000 of his saints to execute judgment on all, to convict all who are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have committed in an ungodly way, and of all the harsh things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. These are murmurers, complainers, walking according to their own lusts, and they mouth great swelling words, flattering people to gain advantage. But you beloved, remember the words which were spoken before by the apostles of our Lord Jesus Christ. How they told you that there would be mockers in the last times, who would walk according to their own ungodly lusts. These are sensual persons who cause the divisions, not having the Spirit. But you, beloved, building yourselves up upon your most holy faith, praying in the Holy Spirit, keep yourselves in the love of God, looking for the mercy of our Lord Jesus Christ unto eternal life. And on some have compassion, making a distinction, but others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment defiled by the flesh. Now to him who is able to keep you from stumbling, and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory, which is exceeding joy, to God our Savior, who alone is wise, be glory and majesty, domination and power, both now and forever.
Go, stand in the temple and speak to the people all the words of this life. And when they heard that, they entered the temple early in the morning and taught. But the high priest and those with him came and called the council together with all the elders of the children of Israel, and sent to the prison to have them brought. But when the officers came and did not find them in the prison, they returned and reported, saying, "Indeed, we found the prison shut securely, and the guards standing outside before the doors. But when we opened them, we found no one inside. The word of the Lord shall grow, multiply, be mighty, and be confirmed in the holy church of God. Amen."
Today is the 14th day of the blessed month of April. May God begin it in goodness and renew it for us in peace and tranquility, while our sins and iniquities are forgiven through the tender mercies of our Lord, O my fathers and my brother and me. On this day of the year of 19th of the martyrs, 303 AD, Saint Procinius was martyred. He was born in Jerusalem to the Christian father and a pagan mother. When his father died, his mother took him, decalated in Antioch. She presented him with expensive gifts and asked him to appoint her son as a governor. He appointed him governor of Alexandria and commanded him to torture the Christians. When the saint had gone a short distance from Antioch, he heard a voice from heaven calling him by his name and cautioned him from torturing the Christians. A cross of light appeared to him, and he heard a voice telling him, I am Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who was crucified in Jerusalem. This apparition was similar to that of St. Paul when the Lord appeared to him near Damascus. Proconius believed in the Lord Christ, and he made for himself a cross of gold like the cross that appeared to him. On his way to Alexandria, he overcame some robbers by the power of the cross. When his mother knew of his faith, she became angry and informed Diocletian, who ordered the governor of Caesarea Palestine to take charge of torturing him. When he came before the governor, Proconius confessed his faith in the Lord Christ. He painfully scourged him that he was close to death. Then imprisoned him. The Lord Christ appeared to him, comforted and healed him. The next morning they brought him before the governor, and when the people saw him whole, they all cried out, saying, We are Christians, and we believe in the God of Proconius. The governor ordered to behead them. Among them were 2 perfects and 12 women. Thus they received the crown of martyrdom. As of St. Proconius, the governor tormented him much, and finally he ordered to behead him, and he received the crown of the martyrdom. The blessing of his prayer be with us all. Amen. On this day also, the year of 1064 of the martyrs, Pope Peter V, 83rd Patriarch of Alexandria, departed. He became a monk in St. Macarius monastery and lived in honorable monastic life. When Pope Benjamin II departed, the bishop and the lay leaders unanimously agreed to choose him for the patriarch. He was consecrated on the 6th day of Tu, year 1056 of the martyrs. During his papacy, the people suffered some hardships and persecution. He prayed and entreated God to lift up from them. He departed in peace after being on the apostles' throne for 8 years and 6 months. He was buried in the Habash monastery, Old Cairo. The blessing of his prayer be with us all, and glory be to our God forever.
Salsa that time the disciples came to Jesus, saying, Who then is greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus called a little child to him, set him in the midst of them, and said, Assuredly I say to you, unless you are converted and become as little children, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever humbles himself as this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoever receives one little child like this in my name receives me. But whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him if a millstone were hung around his neck, and he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Woe to the world because of offenses, for offenses must come, but woe to that man by whom the offenses comes. And if your right hand or foot causes you to sin, cut it off and cast it from you. It is better for you to enter into life lame or maimed, rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet, to be cast into the everlasting fire. And if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and cast it from you. It is better for you to enter into life with 1 eye, rather